My name is Brian Outlaw, but wait, you already knew that. Anyways, welcome to RCW, Ravage Championship Wrestling, where compelling storylines and the bullshit of WWE doesn't exist. Welcome to wrestling that you care about, wrestling that you'll be entertained by, wrestling without the bullshit. Well, boss man's telling me to watch my language, so anyways, enjoy the show, and hey, don't look at my sisters the wrong way, otherwise you will get a guilty verdict too. Anyways, enjoy the show, grab a snack, grab your girl, oh wait, I have her. I'm just kidding, enjoy the show.
Hello everyone and happy Sunday, happy Backlash Day. Today will be the WWE pay-per-view Backlash tonight. I'm excited to watch that. I might be having a watch party with a couple of buddies. I'm going to watch along, if you will. But today we are continuing the lottery case, men's and women's lottery case qualifying matchups. We are almost done, as we have almost already completed the rosters for that match, the match card for that match. So, to recap what happened last episode, we had Ruby Riott get an unexpected victory over Paige, hence she is the first woman in the matchup for the Miss Lottery case. Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston, and Kevin Owens came out with the victory. Now he is the first man in the men's lottery case. Ember Moon versus Kairi Sane. Ember is the second woman. Aleister Black versus Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is the second man in the matchup there. And Scott Richards versus Cedric Alexander. And Scott Richards pulling out all the stops there, able to get the victory over Cedric Alexander. Thus, he is the third man. So now we have 3 men left and 4 women left to be in the match card. And that match will take place at the pay-per-view. So we should have a total of... Let's see. Let me look real quick. We have the 4 title matches. We have the Kenny Omega match, Jon Moxley versus Drew McIntyre. So we should have a total of almost 8 matches. 8 matches. Counting the title matches and some of the rivalry matches we have, as well as the men's lottery case and women's lottery case matches. So that's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very exciting to bring those back. I'm very excited to have those back because that was a huge staple of RCW back in, I believe it was season 2. And now we are all the way in season 7. So it is absolutely amazing. Real quick before we get into our show today, I'd just like to go over a couple things in regards to the Angle podcast, the website, and some new equipment. Well, not necessarily that we'll be using for RCW streams in particular, but some of the broadcast or the podcast, excuse me. So the podcast. So we got some camcorders made for it. We have a brand new logo. We also have a Twitter for it as well, which I think I added it here if I enter pod. There you go. There it is. There is the Twitter for the Angle podcast. I highly suggest you follow it. We are currently at 3 followers now because we just started that Twitter account. My co-host Sakite and I thought it would be a good idea to do that simply because it would be easier for you guys to send us questions instead of us relying on the chat, the stream chat, when it's live. You guys could send us questions. Also, you guys could send us questions for podcasts that will be pre-recorded, because we thought about doing some that are live and then other ones that are just pre-recorded and getting ready to post. So we just thought about doing that for the sake of getting more podcast stuff out to you guys, and not all of us just having to go live just to have it. I love the live interaction. I love everything that it is about being live and all that. But we thought it would be another good idea just to have something a little bit different. So we'll be doing that, and that is a place where you guys can send us, maybe some topic suggestions, questions that you guys may have in regards to the topic and everything, because a lot of the topics that we tackle are, highly debated ones, and also ones that are just, that spark really good discussion. And I love having really good discussions, basically on anything, but this in particular is a wrestling podcast. But I like having really awesome discussions with Sakite and just with people about wrestling and about, character development, about the changes that are happening every day in the professional wrestling world. So please do not hesitate to follow that. Sakite and I are both in charge of that Twitter, so we will see it. We will see your interactions and stuff like that. And we wanted something to allow us to make it bigger than it is now. And we want to take that extra step into making it more professional and into making it, what it should be, what we want it to be. And I feel like as streamers and as content creators, for those of you that watch content and for those of you that produce content or create content rather, you would want the content that you're watching to be on a more professional level, be on a level where it shows that the content creator cares about it. So, Sakite and I were talking and we got to talking and we were, decided to do a few things in regards to that. So hopefully you guys will join us. We don't know if we're going to be doing one today, as we usually do them on Sundays. I usually don't stream normally on Sundays, but I had some free time, so I was like, why not? We usually don't do them on Sundays, but who knows? We may do one tonight, as that is our regularly scheduled podcast day is on Sundays. But we don't know if we're doing one because of Backlash happening tonight. So who knows? I'll have to get in touch with Sakite on that, and we'll kind of decide. So let's get right into our show, and that is, for our first match here, we have Rhea Ripley going up against Charlotte Flair. These two have definitely have butted heads in the past in that other company there, so we will see as to what happens there. Again, this is a Money in the Bank, or in this case, lottery case matchup. Qualifying matchup, that is. With the winner moving on. Again, like I said, Paige and Ember are already in that matchup. Or Ruby Riott and Ember, excuse me. They're already in that matchup already, and as Rhea Ripley makes her way to the ring here. Now, this is possibly the biggest opportunity for Rhea Ripley right now that she's ever had in RCW since joining the roster. So, we will see. We all shall see, as Sakite would say. Now, Charlotte Flair has had quite the resume in other companies, but what you do in another company does not matter, because as soon as you step in the doors of RCW, your resume is completely wiped. Yes, it is good for the RCW superstars to have titles in other companies and have success in other companies before coming here, and it is important we acknowledge those. Not to say that it doesn't completely matter, but nonetheless, Charlotte Flair is ready for her matchup here against Rhea Ripley. So we have Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. The winner goes on to the women's lottery case ladder match here, and we're underway. Rhea Ripley trying to get that drop kick off there, but Charlotte Flair able to get out of that one. We're going to chop a Flair chop right to the chest of Rhea Ripley there, and now Rhea Ripley in a little bit of trouble here as Charlotte Flair tries to stretch out the leg of Rhea Ripley, trying to get her to tap out fairly quickly here, but Rhea able to get out of that submission. Out of that predicament there for the time being. Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Man, if this isn't a title match here that I've seen one. And an RKO there, a cutter there on Charlotte Flair. Now the multiple punches there to Charlotte Flair as Rhea Ripley knows what's at stake. Charlotte knows what's at stake, but, you know, Charlotte, quite frankly, has had a lot of spotlight here on RCW and in other companies as well. And honestly, what better way to make a name for yourself than to get an opportunity here for Rhea Ripley? I mean, Charlotte Flair, you know, just from her last name, she's already made a name for herself. So, you know, Rhea Ripley does not have that. So it would be interesting to see how Rhea comes through in this match. Charlotte Flair, though. Charlotte Flair with the Irish Whip. I don't know what Charlotte was trying to go for there. It didn't help her. Rhea Ripley tried to go for a drop kick, but Charlotte moved out of the way there. Oh, and draping her across the ropes there is Charlotte Flair. And now Charlotte lifting her up now. Oh, drop kick of her own there. That's something that Rhea Ripley couldn't connect with. And a count of one there and a kick out at one. Rhea Ripley, you know, is someone that does not give up easily. Neither does Charlotte Flair, but it seems to me that Charlotte Flair, the issue with Charlotte is that oftentimes she can let her ego and her last name get in the way of things. You know, she has been very successful. But Rhea Ripley does not have that. And I think that's what's going to make is the difference maker here in this match, is that she does not have that so-called name to live up to, that so-called ego, if you will. Because I think when you're Ric Flair's daughter, you know, you have to hold up to that name, hold up to daddy's name, so You know, that's something that Charlotte Flair, you know, it may cause her to have a chip on her shoulder there, is Rhea Ripley tried to get back in the ring. Charlotte Flair, though, not allowing that to happen. Count of 2 here. And now Rhea Ripley throws Charlotte back in the ring, gets back in the ring herself here. Oh, and that big boot right to the back of Charlotte. And another big stomp there. Rhea Ripley, oh, what a knee right to the midsection of Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte takes Rhea down in that famous Flair strut. That famous Flair strut. And Charlotte with the neck breaker there to Rhea Ripley. Now Rhea Ripley, oh my God, Charlotte. Charlotte, again, does not want any of this spotlight being taken away from her. She's looking to bridge into the figure 8 here. She's got the figure 4. She needs that bridge. And she bridged into the figure 8. Rhea Ripley has nowhere to go, but Rhea is able to get out of it. Not many people can say that they have escaped the figure 8. But Rhea Ripley has, and a body slam there to Charlotte. Again, this is for a spot in the women's lottery case matchup here. Is Rhea Ripley lifting up Charlotte there. All the blood rushing to Charlotte's head now. That stalling suplex. That huge stalling suplex that she likes to hit there. Charlotte has to be feeling a little bit dazed right now, and she's definitely feeling dazed after that big boot in the corner. She's definitely feeling that now. And Rhea Ripley taunting the crowd a little bit. I mean, Rhea Ripley does have, you know, you could say that she does have a bit of an ego, but not as much as Charlotte does, I would say. What's up, CJ? Not as much as Charlotte. Yeah, so normally, like I said, we don't stream on weekends, but I had a little bit of free time, and, you know, I think it's a lot easier for people to come in on the weekends, because, you know, they either don't have work, or, you know, they're not doing too much of anything. So as Rhea Ripley looks for the Riptide on Charlotte Flair to move on to the women's lottery case matchup here, count of 2, and Charlotte Flair with the kick out at 2.5. Charlotte Flair with a kick out at 2.5, and now Charlotte, oh my, what a chop. What a chop. Another Flair chop. And another one in the corner. Honestly, in terms of my favorite, I really like Rhea a lot. You know, if I had to choose one that I like more, I would say Rhea, because Charlotte, I feel, takes a lot away from the women's division. I say that I feel like she brings out the best in anybody that wrestles with her, but what I mean is that there's so many women that deserve more opportunities than she does. Like, she shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble. I thought it should have been Shayna Baszler to win the Royal Rumble, but, you know, I just feel like the Queen gimmick is kind of stale. I feel like the whole her riding off of her dad's coattails is just really stale. It's like, yeah, we know you're Ric Flair's daughter, but you're Charlotte. You know, you're yourself. It's like, stop trying to like be what your dad is, because your dad was your dad, and your dad was great, is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, is one of the greatest entertainers of all time. But don't let that be the reason why people pay attention to you, you know? As Rhea Ripley, huge riptide there. 1, 2. Oh, and Charlotte Flair with the kick out at 2. And yes, he is a Hall of Fame wrestler, but, you know, it seems... Well, that's him, though. You know, see, that he has that pedigree. It seems to me that Charlotte... It seems to me that, like, Vince is like, oh, you know, we want her to become the Hall of Famer like her dad is. And that's cool and everything. That's cool, but I still feel like even though that Paige has only had a few years in the WWE and she's been retired for 2 years, I feel that she did more in terms of, you know, changing the way women's wrestling was. I feel like her and AJ Lee both did a lot more than Charlotte has. Because to me, like, no offense to Charlotte, I think that she's very talented. I really do. I really do. I think that she's very talented. But my issue with Charlotte is, to me, she reminds me of one of the Bellas. Where the Bellas wouldn't be where they're at if Brie Bella wasn't dating Daniel Bryan or wasn't married to Daniel Bryan. And if Nikki Bella wasn't with John Cena. I feel that if it wasn't for the fact that Rick was backstage at WWE and real good friends with Vince and, you know, constantly, you know, and Charlotte was having her dad's last name, that she would not be in as many spots as she was in. You know, she would not be in, you know, all these championship matches. And, you know, I'm saying, like, I would respect her a lot more if she actually worked for it, instead of, like, Vince just being like, we're just gonna push her because she's a Flair, and because we want her to possibly beat her dad's record. Because at this point, her dad's like a 16-time world champion, and by the time Charlotte's done, she could possibly beat her dad's record. There's a reason why John Cena did not want to break Ric Flair's heavyweight championship record. There's a reason why he didn't want to do it. So if he didn't want to do it, why is Vince, like, trying to make her do it, you know? I know it's like, I know, you know, she has a name to live up to because she's Ric Flair's daughter, but, you know, in my opinion, like, her dad is only going to be around for so long, like, he's old. And to me, I feel like Charlotte should just cement a legacy of her own, not just because I'm Ric Flair's daughter. And, you know, because, you know, Paige came from a wrestling family, but and I may be a little biased here because I'm a Paige fan, but she came from a wrestling family, but that didn't matter in the WWE. You know, she had made a name for herself without her father. Without anybody. She left England to go to Orlando to go to NXT. She left everything of her home country behind. Let's also let the record show that that back then, you know, 10 years ago, women in the WWE were just supermodels. They were not wrestlers. So basically, the women that Paige was in NXT with were a bunch of cheerleaders and a bunch of supermodels and not actual wrestlers. And she'll actually tell you that. Like, that's not something that was made up, you know, for the movie. That's something that was actually legit. And I feel that she had basically said, I'm pale and I'm goth and I'm this and I have piercings and I have this and I have this and I have this. I don't have anything that all these other girls have, but, you know, I'm a wrestler and I'm pretty damn good at it, and I'm going to show everybody that I'm pretty damn good at it. And she did exactly that. As Rhea Ripley gets the victory here, she moves on to the women's lottery case matchup. But yeah, you know, that's just my take on it. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Charlotte. I think she's accomplished a lot. But you can't help but wonder, if her father wasn't in her back pocket, would she really be pushed as much? You know, because I think Sonya Deville could be a huge star. I really think that she could be a huge star. Sonya Deville could definitely be a huge star. I love the whole Daddy Deville hashtag thing that she's got going on, and the whole thing. I love it. I love it. And that's something that Sakite and I will touch upon on our podcast when we talk about social media and wrestling. So, also, there's another spot where you can leave your questions. If you do not have a Twitter and you can't follow the Angle Podcast on Twitter, you can also go in the podcast channel on Discord, and you can leave your questions there, and we'll look at those. We'll actually, I think what we'll do is we'll write them down. We'll write the best ones down, and we will use them. As we have our next match here, for the men's lottery case qualifying matchup, as we have the Beast Slayer Seth Rollins and remember, we already have Jeff Hardy, Scott Richards, and Kevin Owens as part of this lottery case matchup. So this would make a fourth man, and Seth Rollins is looking to be that fourth man. Again, with the lottery case. With the lottery case matchup, what the holder can do. In this case, for the men's lottery case matchup, since we have the RCW Carnage title and the RCW World title, the holder of that case will be able to choose what championship he wants to go after. Whether it's the Carnage title or the World title. I mean, Brian Outlaw is world champion right now, so I don't understand why anybody would not want to be world champion, but it's up to the holder. As Seth Rollins gets ready. Now, he possibly has the best cash-in in history at that other company when he cashed in on Roman Reigns to become the WWE champion, which I believe was at WrestleMania 31. As Roman Reigns, his fellow Shield brother, or his former Shield brother, I should say, Roman Reigns, will be competing against him. Now, Roman, I had mentioned that he has had, I believe, no title opportunities here in RCW, but he looks to have his very first. Like, in terms of him being champion, I don't think he's had a title yet. So for him, this is huge for him. Seth Rollins, on the other hand, he's had the Carnage title twice, I believe. So for Seth Rollins, this is just another way for him to get another title. But for Roman Reigns, this is for him to get... It's a much bigger climb for him. It's a much bigger reason to climb. to the top of the mountain there as Roman Reigns is getting hyped up for his matchup here. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Here we go. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns underway, and a big knee there from Seth Rollins to start this one off. I mean, I really got to be pulling for Roman Reigns here because, you know, like I had mentioned, you know, Seth has already had his fair share of title reigns. Roman Reigns has not. So, you know, who knows? For Roman Reigns, this is, like I said, much bigger and better for him as a couple of elbows in the corner to Seth Rollins. And now, referee's in the way here, but I can already tell he's laying the hands there on Seth Rollins. One. And Seth Rollins easily kicks out there. I like Roman's persistence and going for the cover. I like it, but I don't know if that was such a wise decision this early on in this matchup. But nonetheless, I like the thinking. Roman Reigns gets shoved shoulder first into the second turnbuckle there. Now in the corner is Rollins as he works on Roman Reigns here. Roman Reigns, Irish whip into the ropes now. Oh, and a backbreaker right there, a knee right to the back of Roman Reigns. Again, that vest that he's wearing may have protected him. But how much can that vest actually protect him against it? And a shoulder tackle onto the outside. Now Seth Rollins going for broke here. Again, both of these men knows what's at stake here. But for Roman, like I mentioned, is a belly-to-belly suplex there. He has a bigger reason than Seth does. I mean, why wouldn't you want an opportunity to become champion? Beats me, but like I said, Roman has a bigger reason here, as he's had really not the best of luck, to put it lightly here, in RCW in terms of championship opportunities. Is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins with a rolling Sabat kick. Seth Rollins, oh, but a huge clothesline as Roman Reigns is taken over. Roman Reigns taken over with a shot to the back. Taking a page out of Cassius Ohno's playbook there. Shot to the back of Seth Rollins. Now, I know Seth Rollins has dealt with back injuries in the past. And another huge clothesline from Roman Reigns. Once you get him fired up, it's hard to extinguish the fire that is in Roman Reigns right now. But Seth Rollins, he is as persistent as his fellow Shield brother. And oh my God, what a right hand. What a right hand that sends Seth Rollins down to the canvas. Now a snapmare there. Snapmare just trying to work over on Rollins here. A couple of elbows right to the shoulder pads. Right to the shoulders. Oh, and a right hand again. A right hand from Roman Reigns. Now Roman Reigns going up top now. What a knee drop there. Huge knee from Roman Reigns. And a kick out at one. Kick out at one. And a huge elbow there from Roman Reigns as Roman Reigns now on the apron again. But Roman Reigns knew what Seth was trying to do there. And these brothers know each other more than anyone else does here. It's a super kick there. On to Roman Reigns now, and now Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins looking to end this one here with a curb stomp, but Roman Reigns saw that one coming, and a huge clothesline again. Brings down Seth Rollins, and that clothesline has been a staple here in this matchup of Roman Reigns. I mean, if he's trying to create some space, I get it, but he's got to go for something. Go for the Superman punch. Go for the Superman punch. Oh, spear! Just when I say that, a huge spear onto Seth Rollins and a kick out at two. A huge spear. Onto Seth Rollins. Out of nowhere. I said that Roman Reigns needed to go for something big, and that he did. He went for that spear. And Seth Rollins now taking Roman Reigns to the outside. But he knows for a fact that he's gotta keep him. He's gotta keep him in the ring. As Roman Reigns takes Seth down now. Now repositioning his face. Oh, what a stomp to the face of Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins getting up from that. Seth Rollins getting up. Oh my, what a shot. What a shot to the face of Roman Reigns and running into the corner. I believe that was a knee there. I believe that was a knee. And now Roman Reigns. Oh my, what a big boot to Roman. Or what a big boot to Seth Rollins, excuse me, and a kick out at 1. These two are just feeling each other out. Brother versus brother might as well. You know, not blood, but, you know, not all family is blood here. But Seth Rollins turns it around here, turning it around on Roman Reigns and planting him into the canvas. 2 and a kick out at 2. A kick out at 2 here. And a super kick here on Roman Reigns. Huge super kick here on Roman Reigns. Trying for the curb stomp, but Roman Reigns again with a reversal. These two just feeling each other out right now. Roman Reigns knows exactly what Seth Rollins likes to hit, and that's the curb stomp. I mean, maybe try for that knee strike there instead. I know that's something that Seth Rollins loves to go for. 2 and a belly-to-belly suplex there to Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins rolling out to the outside again under RCW rules. These two have a count out of 20, but Roman Reigns does not want to go on the outside. He knows that he needs to take this in the ring, and a kick to the hamstring, and Roman Reigns with a couple of elbows right to the face. Oh, tried for a clothesline, barely got it. And now Roman Reigns looking for another spear. Roman Reigns rushing in, oh my, but he's met with a knee. A knee right to the midsection. Seth Rollins had sniffed that one out into a super kick there onto Roman Reigns. He just turned the tables on his Shield brethren. He turned the tables. And now this is something he hasn't hit all match. Curb stomp onto Roman Reigns. 1, 2, and Roman Reigns with a kick out at 2. Roman Reigns refusing to go down. The resiliency of Roman Reigns. My God. My God, what a match. Uh-oh. He's got him up. Buckle bomb there to Roman Reigns. This is a good fight. Appreciate the compliment, CJ. This is a good fight. I concur with that statement. As Seth Rollins now going up top. Seth Rollins going up top with the elbow drop there. Elbow drop here on Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins off of the elbow drop. Off of just the elbow drop. Apparently, the curb stomp wasn't enough. Somehow the elbow drop was. I can't say that is that is how I pictured the match ending. I can't say that is how I pictured it ending, but nonetheless, Seth Rollins had beat the living hell out of Roman Reigns throughout this match. As Seth Rollins moves on. So now, as it stands, we have Ember Moon for the women, Ruby Riott for the women, Rhea Ripley for the women. We have Kevin Owens, Scott Richards, and now Seth Rollins, along with Jeff Hardy. So that is where we have, I got it on my trusty paper here. Usually, this is how I would, in previous seasons, I would like write down the winner of every match. But now I don't do that because I have just that good of a memory. But to have to remember these guys to set up the matches, a lot of times I have to write some stuff down. But nonetheless, Seth Rollins is victorious as we go over to the break screen real quick to move on to our next one. There we go. As we move on to our next matchup here. As we have Mia Yim versus Sonya Deville for the women's side of things now. So Mia Yim and Sonya Deville. Now these two ladies are looking for a huge, huge opportunity here. Especially Mia Yim. I'm pulling Mia Yim in this one. I think Mia Yim, if she can find a way to channel that baddie in charge that she calls herself, head baddie in charge, HBIC, if she can find a way to channel that inner baddie, then she'll be able to beat Sonya Deville. But Sonya Deville, quick striker, former MMA fighter, so, you got to find a way to slow down the strikes of Sonya Deville, or as she calls herself, Daddy Deville. So who knows? We'll see what happens here. As the first woman to come out here is the HBIC head baddie in charge, Mia Yim. Now, I'm loving what they're doing with her on NXT right now with her and Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, like a couple battle here. I love it. It's great. Definitely check out Mia Yim on Twitch. She is on Twitch as well. She's amazing. She is freaking awesome. I love seeing a bunch of wrestlers and a bunch of cool celebrities take in the whole normal people thing and broadcast video games and not only use their platform to make change, but also to give us some form of entertainment during this time when with everything going on right now and especially with wrestling not having any fans. I feel like people, like celebrities themselves who make an effort to connect with fans, above all, is awesome. Whether it be through YouTube, through Twitch, or whatever, I think that's great. As we have a crash. This is the first time it has crashed. I will say, with normal characters. So, we'll move over to the break screen real quick as we wait. I did not expect that to happen. Because it usually doesn't happen with, like, characters. Like, in-game characters. At all. It usually doesn't. But nonetheless, but I'm excited to see Backlash tonight. I'm really excited. I found out that my grandfather, he is a Bayley fan too. My grandmother and my grandfather, they love Bayley too. So, I mean, my grandfather loves Bayley for a couple of the same reasons why I like her. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. My grandmother and I both agree that her haircut is not the greatest thing ever. Apparently, Universe Mode likes to change my matchup, so you know what? For the remainder of these matchups here, we're gonna go through Exhibition because the whole entire card got changed because of the crash. So we're just gonna go through normal Exhibition and just continue the matches that we were supposed to have. So it was Mia Yim and Sonya Deville. So we will do that. Yeah, we both, me and my grandmother both agree that we don't really like Bayley's new haircut, but that's okay. That's okay. Whoa, we just dropped frames there. That would have been, that was weird. Sometimes I have these things where I have just weird frame drops for whatever reason. And I apologize if you ever hear my dogs barking because I have a package coming from Amazon today. I ordered some new I ordered some new screen protectors for my Apple Watch because you know when you start touching your screen a bunch of times on your phone and everything, it kind of gets all messed up and everything. So, like, it's all, like, dirty and disgusting now. So I had to order new ones. And they're coming today, so. Anyways, we have Mia Yim versus Sonya Deville. I'm going to load this matchup for you guys. So I also have some good news as well. I have some really good news in regards to content. Pretty soon we will have more than just WWE 2K in terms of wrestling games to stream. We will have Retromania Wrestling that's coming out this summer. We will have the WWE Battlegrounds game coming out as well. As we are underway here in this match, I turned off entrances for the sake of, crashes. So, we have Mia Yim here and Sonya Deville. Mia Yim there, using her cat-like agility there. To get off the second rope is Sonya Deville turning it around and a quick kick there. And a knee right to the midsection of Mia Yim. Put your hair up and square up, as she likes to say. But I've also been enjoying Sonya Deville with her hair down, though. I really think it's a good look for her. I love the whole thing that she does for Pride Month and LGBTQIA Pride and all that. And she is the first openly lesbians to be signed to WWE. I believe she's like the first ever openly gay superstar to be signed to WWE ever. So I think it's really cool. And the stuff that she does with Mandy and the storyline that she's got going with Mandy and the whole YouTube channel with the donuts and everything that her and Mandy are doing, I think is a really cool thing too. And she talked about getting into Twitch because Paige had like FaceTimed her on her stream or whatever, and she was like, maybe I should give Twitch a try. And I was like, totally. We can make like Daddy DeVille like be an actual thing. We can make it like just be more than a hashtag. That could be like her. That could totally be like her Twitch name. Like, she should just make that. Like, that's just for the record, that's got to be made more into something because I love it. I love it. Like, I don't want it to just be some dumb hashtag thing. I want it to be a thing. Kind of like the whole page, this is my house thing. Like, it was more than, you know, just a stupid catchphrase. No offense, Paige, but I'm not saying the catchphrase is stupid. Just saying that it's more than... Please don't hurt me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I could just gift her a few more subs and she'll love me again. It's okay. It's cool. It's fine. I absolutely. Speaking of Paige, I absolutely love what she's doing with everything. Like, that's just. She is just genuinely badass and genuinely awesome, for real. For realsies. Like I said, like I love celebrities who, you know, they make an effort to, you know, connect with their fans, and I think wrestling is one of those. I shouldn't say organizations or I don't know how to word it, but it's like one of those types of pastimes, types of entertainment that, you know, you don't always experience with everything else. Like, I mean, music also, I would say, is another big thing that does it. But, you know, you never think about, you know, talking to your favorite celebrities, or you never think about, like, meeting them, or, like I said, even talking to them. But now that Paige is on Twitch now, and Mia Yim has been on Twitch for a while, and stuff now, like, it's cool, because they're giving you another avenue for you to talk to them, like, directly, like, because this is live in the moment right now. So I think it's just really cool. And I've talked to Sami Callihan, who is a wrestler for Impact Wrestling. He insulted me before, and I fell in love with it. I love him. He is just amazing. There's Mia Yim here. Check your neck here. On Sonya Deville. 1, 2, 3. And Mia Yim gets the victory here. What's up, Zero? What is up, my friend? How are you and your bearded goodness, my friend? I'm doing awesome. Nothing could ruin this day. And I say that with a grain of salt, because anything can happen right now, to the point where my day could just be crushed. But so far nothing has happened yet, so it's all fine and dandy. What is Dakota Kai doing here? Okay, apparently Dakota Kai does not want Mia Yim to celebrate, as Dakota Kai with a kick to it. Okay, apparently Dakota Kai does not like this whole celebration here we have going on for Mia Yim. I mean, she won a spot for the women's lottery case matchup, and I guess Dakota Kai, who also streams on Twitch too. So definitely check her out too. I love watching her stream. She's very entertaining. And I know I don't need to promote these people, but I love women's wrestling. Who is playing? I'm playing Mia Yim, and all this is. I play one of the superstars, and I commentate the match at the same time. So I play one of them, and then I go up against the computer, and then I commentate while I'm playing. So I do kill two birds with one stone. So apparently Dakota Kai does not like the celebration. does not want Mia Yim to celebrate. So, with that, we have Mia Yim qualifying for the women's lottery case matchup. We had Seth Rollins qualifying for that. So, real quick, we'll go over to the break screen as I write that down on using my trusty pen. We'll go over to the break screen here, and you can see Luna walking in all of her amazing glory. Just don't look at her the wrong way, otherwise the outlaw is going to come out and kill you. That's not a threat, it's a promise. I just got to write this stuff down here. Okay, so we had Seth Rollins win that one. And we just had Mia Yim and Sonya Deville, otherwise known as Daddy Deville, as she likes to call herself. I love that whole thing. It's freaking amazing. Yeah, because the game crashed on us, so now we have to do it through exhibition, which is completely okay. Alright. So now we have our final match here. We have our final match here, which is Samoa Joe. Can't remember who else I put. It's Samoa Joe versus somebody. I'll figure it out eventually. Because the game crashed, and because of the game crashing, it totally, like, messed up my whole match card. So now I have to figure out who I had Samoa Joe go up against. Which kind of pisses me off, so... Because I hate it when the game crashes, and then I have to figure out who the hell I put Samoa Joe up against. I don't know why, since I just made the card like 30 minutes ago. Otherwise, I'm like suffering from like short-term memory loss like Dory or something. I don't know why, but it's kind of like one of those things that you forget your car keys. Like you forget where you put your car keys, and you realize how stupid you are because you put them right in front of you. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Alright, I figured it out. It is Samoa Joe versus Randy Orton. So, let's get this match underway. Again, this is a men's lottery case matchup. It is exactly just like the Money in the Bank matchup here, as we have Samoa Joe going up against Randy Orton. Now, Randy Orton is a former Carnage champion who lost it to Shawn Winters, who then lost it to Darby Allin. So now we will see, we all shall see, who's moving on. Now, Can Randy Orton move on and possibly have another opportunity to capture a title? Or can Samoa Joe move on? And I believe he could have his first chance at becoming champion. I don't think, from the history of RCW, it's been 2 years since we've started this show, so almost 2 years anyway. And because of that, you know, a lot has happened. So I think, if my history is correct, that we haven't had Samoa Joe as a champion yet. So who knows? Let's get this going here. We have Samoa Joe and Randy Orton as we wait for this match to load up. I think now is as good as time as any, as I'll put my Discord here in chat, and you can join the Discord by simply clicking that link there. If it doesn't work for you, let me know. I'll get you a separate link. Also, here is the link to my website, where you can find all of the RCW episodes as well as all of my other wrestling content as we get this going here. Randy Orton and Samoa Joe, as a little Fez press here from Randy Orton. Now, Randy Orton and Edge will be going head-to-head at Backlash tonight, which I'm really excited. I love that feud. I love Edge. Absolutely love the guy. Love Randy Orton as well. And I think Randy Orton plays a really good heel, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Also have Bayley and Sasha Banks defending the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles, against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, who are the former champions. Which was kind of funny because there was a photo that was posted by WWE, I think it was on their Instagram, of how sad Alexa Bliss was after she lost the title. Like, the look on her face was just adorable. I thought it was funny. Well, Alexa Bliss is freaking gorgeous to begin with. So, like, I would be that guy that if I ever got the chance to meet Alexa Bliss, I would just, like, get her, like, $50 in, like, Starbucks gift cards because she loves freaking coffee, and just get her, like, I don't know, like a Mickey Mouse plush toy or something because she loves Disney, or I'd give her something Star Wars or something. You know, I'd be that guy because Alexa Bliss is freaking amazing. And then again, I'd pretty much do that for any of the women that I love in wrestling. I would do that. I mean, I gifted Paige like 20 subs in her channel, so I did that because I love her. So I deserve something. I'm kidding. I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve anything. Even being recognized by my favorite female wrestler of all time, like, is just good enough. Like, every time I come in chat, like, she knows who I am, so I'll take that. I'll take recognition. Although a date would be nice. But I could be dreaming. I'm dreaming right now. But, you know, even though she told me to stop gifting her subs, I'm not going to. She can't tell me what to do. She ain't the boss of me! Why is he doing the same move over and over again? Samoa Joe, you gotta have more than one move. I'm not the one clicking. I always think, like, because the button combinations of this game, sometimes you gotta get other moves. There we go. There's another move, a powerbomb there on Randy Orton. Now Samoa Joe looking for the Coquina clutch here. Looking to submit Randy Orton, but Randy Orton able to slither out of that one. The Viper able to slither out of that one. Very quickly, I might add, too, as well. And Joe is sweating right now. And Randy Orton is pissed off at himself. That may have come back to bite him there as Joe comes after him there. Again, under RCW rules, we have a count out of 20. It's not a count out of 10. Again, I apologize we've had to do this in exhibition, but, you know, the game is how the game is, and we're living with it. Still bringing you the badass matches that you know and love, so... Count of 5 here. 6. Again, they have a count of 20. We don't like matches to end in countouts here. That is not how we do things here on RCW, so that is why we increased the countout change. Oh, Randy Orton looked for a neck breaker there, but Samoa Joe turns it around with a knee to the face. And now Samoa Joe lifted up Randy Orton, and I believe that was a Death Valley driver there, or some type of driver there on the outside to Randy Orton. Now Randy Orton gets thrown in the middle of the ring here. Or inside the ring, rather. And now Joe turning around the Viper. Now Joe going after the leg of Randy Orton. Now he can't hit those signature stomps that he likes to hit. It's part of his signature maneuver there. Oh, and now a knee to the back, and oh my, what a blow to the chest of Randy Orton. Randy Orton trying to slither his way out of this one, but I don't think he's going to be able to, as again, Joe goes after that move he has used quite a lot of in this match here. It's Joe now with a running senton. Oh my god, I think that's 300 plus pounds, almost 300 pounds. On to Randy Orton, crushing the chest of Randy Orton, the chest cavity of Randy Orton there. But Randy, able to Irish whip him in the corner, get some separation here. A huge kick in the corner here for Randy Orton, and now Randy Orton. Oh. Randy Orton with the stomp right to the chest now. A little bit of payback from what we've seen just a couple seconds ago from that senton. Randy, what a weird submission there, but Samoa Joe able to get his foot on the rope there. Oh, if you think you're going to lift the big man in Samoa Joe, think again here, but a chop here from Randy. Chop here from Randy, snapmare takedown there. Now looking to wear Joe down here. And that's the only way you're going to get the bigger man down, is you got to find a way to wear him down. Get him to tire himself out, but a Uranagi on Randy Orton. Uranagi on Randy Orton to move on to the men's lottery case matchup. No, Randy Orton with a kick out at 2. Randy Orton able to get the kick out. Now turning it around. Oh, Randy Orton is locked in the Coquina clutch. Randy Orton trying to slither his way out of this one. Samoa Joe has it locked in. Nowhere for Randy to go here. Randy desperately trying to hang on. Here. But Randy's got a tap. And Joe is moving on. Samoa Joe moves on. My God. Samoa Joe. It took 2 of them as Randy Orton slithered his way out of the first one, but as you can see there, Randy Orton bleeding profusely from the ear, I may add. But Joe, the Samoan submission machine, and he is called that for a reason, as Joe gets the victory here against Randy Orton as Joe moves on. me quickly write that down here as Joe celebrates. Let me also write down that Rhea Ripley also won her matchup. Okay, so I have 4 matches out of 5. I gotta figure out what the 5th one is. Okay. Which is okay. Which is okay. So we got all these matches written down, ready to go here. Let me just put what they're for, because otherwise I will forget. Alright. So Samoa Joe gets the victory over Randy Orton. So that should be our show, guys. Samoa Joe getting the win. Samoa Joe gets the win over Randy Orton here to move on. Now we still have a couple more matches to go. We still have a couple more qualifying matches to take place. So don't fret. You know, we will have a couple more matches to take place within the upcoming episodes of RCW, and then pretty soon we will have the pay-per-view. We are 5 episodes away from RCW Recoil in New York City at Madison Square Garden, and that is where the matchups will take place, the men's lottery case and the women's lottery case. And we could see a cash-in on the same night. We could see that happen. Very rarely do we see it happen, but in terms of RCW, you know, we usually see it happen the night after the pay-per-view. You know, we like to, sometimes the lottery case holders like to play mind games with the chosen champion that they chose to gone after. So, you know, with Brian Outlaw being the champion, you know, and we have, let's see, we have Kevin Owens, Jeff Hardy, Scott Richards, Seth Rollins, and Joe. Samoa Joe. As of right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have about 5 men out of the 6. If my calculations are correct. We have 5. And for the women, we have 1, 2, let's see, 3, and 4. One, 2, 3, and 4, I believe. If my calculations are correct. Again, I could always go back and watch the VOD to refresh my memory. Sometimes I have to do that. But, in any case, I thank you guys for joining me today. I know you guys probably didn't expect stream to happen. I didn't either. I usually stream on weekdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. But I like to have, sometimes I like to do some weekend streams. You know, when I got some free time and I'm not doing anything, I always like to, I feel like, I've said this before, but I feel like I was made to do this. That You know, some people are just made for entertainment, like The Rock and Stone Cold, for example. Both of those guys are entertaining in anything that they do, just because they are made to be entertainers. That the big man upstairs made them to be entertainers, and I think to myself all the time that I was made to do it, and I think to myself all the time that I was made to be in the wrestling business. You know, with the commentary, with the booking, with the knowledge that I have. Not, and this is not to brag or to toot my own horn or anything, but you know, I have done a lot of soul searching, if you will. I've done a lot of searching in terms of, you know, what am I good at and what can I do? Because all this time in life, we go through life and we're constantly trying to discover who we are as people, who we are as a person. And I feel like the older you get, the more you start to understand about yourself. I'm only 21 years old. I haven't lived life yet. I'm barely scratching the surface of it. But I can tell you, I damn well know that I belong in a business like this. That I belong doing something like this. And I'm not just talking about streaming. I'm talking about being there in the business. Because every time I bring you guys this show, every time I book this show, and every time I go offline, and you know, I do the feedback things that I do, and what that is, usually sometimes after streams, after RCW streams, I do what's called these feedback sessions, where I spend about 15 minutes to 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour, depending on how long you want to talk, about what you guys had just seen, and about the show overall, because this show has been going on for nearly 2 years. I've been doing YouTube since I was 10. I've been doing streaming since January 28th. Was my very first stream. And so, you know, to me, I don't consider that my streamiversary, even though it technically is. Because I wasn't taking streaming seriously at all. I just did it as something fun. And that's ultimately what you should do. Just do it for something fun. But I feel like when you have a schedule, you know, when you have a schedule and, you know, you're making it, I guess you're making time for it. Not to say that it doesn't mean any less to anybody that doesn't have a schedule, but I'm saying, like, you know, if you have a schedule and, you know, you're a content creator, whether you're small or big or whatever, and you have a schedule, and you're scheduling time out of your day specifically to do this, whether it's for an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, whatever. That's a part of your day that you could be doing something else. And, you know, I don't say this to be like, oh, you guys have to come here. You guys have to. You know, and the only reason why I'm talking like that is because there are some people out there who feel entitled. They get mad when you don't come to people's streams. They get mad that you don't come to people's streams. They get mad that you don't show your support, if you will. And, you know, that's just something that I've seen on Twitter for the past couple days. And it's something that I thought I'd address, you know, because it happened to a close friend of mine. He got banned from somebody's chat. I won't say who it is, but you know, the lurkers, the ones that are active in chat, the ones that are wanting to connect with you, whether it be, you know, they want to support you, so they leave your tab up, or they want to support you, so, you know, they come to your charity stream. Like, you have a cause that you're raising money for, and they want to support you but they also want to support a cause that you are very passionate about. Like, they may not get it, they may not directly support it, but I think all of us, when we see somebody doing a good thing, we want to publicize it, and we want to, use the platforms that we have to make change in the world and to bring a smile to somebody's face. I'm by no means a big streamer at all. I'm not, Ninja. I'm not, any of the guys that I watch on YouTube as a part of my daily entertainment. I'm not any of those guys. I'm just Botch TV. I'm just Brian Outlaw. I'm just Brian at the end of the day that loves professional wrestling. Now, since being on the Brew Boys, and I thought I'd bring this up because I guess it just calls for it. Since being on the Brew Boys, I can say that I felt so much better ever since being on there because, like, Tony and Slev gave me an opportunity to share my story, and I feel like not a lot of people in today's world give that opportunity to people. They'd rather shun people, or they'd rather be silent, if you will. And it doesn't matter what that is, or what story that is. Like, everyone has a life story. Everyone has their struggles and things like that. And I think it's more important than ever, like, especially with everything going on in the world right now, that we listen to people, and that we care for each other, and we use these platforms, we use social media, no matter how small we think we are. You know what they say, like, fish in a pond or whatever, there are more fish in the sea, or what is it, like, you're a little fish in a big pond. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Little fish in a big pond. Well, we may be all these little fish in a big pond full of bigger fish that can, easily eat us and easily take advantage of it because of they're just bigger. So in this case, you may think that you don't have the power to change something, to change what's going on in the world, or to change what is happening, or you may think that dirty, nasty comment that you are thinking about posting won't affect anybody, but it will. It will. If it doesn't affect the person that it's targeted for, it will affect somebody. And I think it's important that we all be nice to each other, and that we all be open about things, and we start discussing about things that possibly make us feel uncomfortable, or things that we normally sweep under the rug, because the more that we sweep things under the rug, the more it's going to stay the same. So I encourage all of you, if there's something out there, even if it's what's going on in the world right now, if you have something that you care about, if you have an issue that you care about, whether it's, what's going on in the world right now, or whether it's, something that you care about, I encourage you to raise awareness of that. I encourage you to raise awareness of that. I encourage you to just be a good human being when it all comes down to it. And that's what I want to do. I want to create a place where people feel that they can talk to me, that they can that they can just, sometimes, especially with everything going on in the world right now, people just want something to entertain them. They want something to de-stress themselves, and make it so that it doesn't sound that they're not getting overwhelmed. And I've dealt with anxiety and depression for years. I've dealt with it since I was like 9 years old. And I get it. I get it. It's a rough road. It's a rough road. It's difficult, but we're all gonna get through this together. And we are all human beings at the end of the day. So, I just want to thank all of you guys for everything that you guys have done for these past 2 years. And I know I do this almost every stream where I thank you guys, and I know it may get old after a while, but if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be going to college for what I'm going for right now. I wouldn't be trying to get into the wrestling industry. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't have taken those steps in my life. I wouldn't have taken those steps in my life to have changed my entire life, and you guys are a part of that. You guys changed my entire life. You guys changed a lot in me, just being here and enjoying what I do. I mean, I appreciate all the compliments I get about being a good commentator and about loving what I do, but at the end of the day, like I said, I was made to do this. This is what I was designed to do. And some people just have a knack for some things, and this is my niche. This is my thing that I'm good at. And, I want you guys to know that none of your praise goes underappreciated. I want you guys to know that it is very appreciative how you come here, you support me, even if you're lurking right now, doing whatever it is you're doing, I still appreciate that. I love that. I love every single thing about you guys. I love Zero. I love Slev. I love Tony. I love all the friends that I've made. And can we just talk about how amazing Zero's beard is? For real? That man is majestic. That man is absolutely majestic. But other than that, I love you guys, and thank you for everything you guys have given me these past 2 years doing this show. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys on another stream. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys later.